What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 87 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz campaign. So as we saw last time, Simon Moesher and the Moor army attacked Shalanhopek, which was the last hard target of the Awakened of the Vampire Coast. Only Luther Harkin remains, and we will hopefully be able to hunt him down over the next couple of turns. I'm not entirely sure where he'll go, but most likely he'll just take one of these territories, only to be either destroyed by us or possibly even by Itza, which is hanging around Quetzal right now. And of course, once Simon is done with Luther, he'll be able to start working on those rats and those dark elves and those oracles of Tzeentch. It would be nice to get another army down here as well, but I suppose we can peel away some of the armies out here once they're done with Tzeentch to hit Illustria from the south rather than from the north, or the middle of it, I guess, like Simon is currently doing. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, we've got steam tanks to finally trial out, as Balthazar Gelt will be moving on to Crooked Fang Fort, which is a main settlement and probably the last of the hard targets of the clan Moorskaven as well, which will be nice to destroy. We have a few other locations. I believe we've got a siege going on with Kurt Helborg, and he's going to have to fight this manually because we can't risk an auto-resolve while he's impregnated. And we also have a few other locations where I believe we have to move, like Gavin Pfeiffer. He's still kind of surrounded. I don't expect that the enemy would win directly against him, but I'm also not inclined to attack them at sea at the current time. This is, after all, still an army that needs readjustment in terms of actually getting proper good troops in here. Not that it's bad, mind you, but that it'll simply get overwhelmed by the pile of enemies here, I would think. Although we do have 108 mana. You know what, I'll think about it. We do need to get rid of these guys so that army can actually move. Anyway, let us begin. Let's see what we gotta do. We could do, let's see. Barnhard, what are you doing? Oh, right, you're the secondary recruiter. No. Let's do a little quick battle with Kurt Helborg out here. And just to take the frozen landing, we might as well heal up our single entities, despite the Plaganation as well. Get you that blade shield, sir, and... ooh. And get a lot of value out of that dwarf forged plate, but I think we want to go the foe sea, or deadly onslaught rather, first. Also, how close are we to officer rank 20? And then similarly, we won't be able to get officer squad because this is a cavalry army. These indeed. Alrighty, what is it with me today? We'll get a regrowth into the dwellers below afterwards and then head towards Arcane Conduit. Gotta keep making good use of these life casters. Anyway, fight manually. We'll let our artillery do most of the work, and then we'll kill whatever comes close. I don't imagine the enemy will be able to do too much damage, although it looks like we've got a lot of kills and trees in the way, but any extra time allowed that will give us to heal everybody up will be fine. Too bad we can't heal up the rest of our forces, but it's okay. As long as the heroes survive, well, and as long as the rare units don't die, i.e. the Imperial Foot, it shouldn't be that big of a concern. Anyway, we'll put you here, put you there, put you everywhere, and like so. Guard you units. All of you guys can just stand together out here, and Demigriffs all the way back here as well. We'll probably send the ones that are less hurt into the fray. And let's move you up. Maybe we can even move you guys forward a little bit. Like... so, alright, start deployment, looks good to me. You guys just hover overhead and begin casting. Wait, you know what? We'll leave you to last, I think. Because everybody else doesn't need as much healing. We'll go for regular Earthblood like so. Do you still have Life Bloom? Are you close enough? Yes, indeed you are. Fantastic. Alrighty, well, let's let the artillery go to work while these guys heal up. And we could do a regrowth, but I think we're probably better off just repeatedly... oh, wow, look at those trees in the way. And just repeatedly casting Earthblood on these guys. And go again. Here come the enemy. Should be able to get at least one more cast off, and man, the artillery isn't really doing as much work as I'd like it to be. You know what, let's target it directly rather than what we've been doing so far. Alright, one more Earthblood, and maybe back off a little bit. Alright, a little bit done. Now, you and, let's say you and you and you. You guys are kind of hurt, so let's put you back there as, let's say, group 6. And then I want you guys to head towards that Norscan Warhounds unit. You guys can head out as well in a few seconds. Alright, you target this, you target this. Simon, move away, you're actually in good HP. We got a few more seconds until Earthblood is up and running. Probably should groupify everybody else and head into combat. Alright, you guys fight this Marauder unit, and we'll move the melee units in, like so and like so. Simon, go after the enemy lord. Let's activate the... I think that should be fine. Alright, everything else looks good. Let's explode some of these jerks, and we will hope that, ooh, you guys don't get too hurt. Alrighty, looks good. We are also going to actually activate this Imperial Foot unit, which is not so far been fighting. Range units need to also be targeted by our artillery pieces. You, I think, are going to need to regrow because you're taking some damage here. Activate your ability as well. And let's also regrow. Well, double up on the regrowth. Oh, wow, you've already reached your healing cap? That was really shockingly fast. Also, back off the Demigryph Knights here. They've taken a little bit of damage. You guys hit the enemy in the side. And everybody else is looking good. Alright. Anybody else need to do anything? Well, I think we're just about good. We just want to make sure that these guys get out without taking too much damage. In fact, we probably want to send the heroes at the enemy. I'd like to regrowth this unit of Demigryph Knights as well, but I think that's not going to happen right now. Alright, everybody charge back in. And we'll regrow them if we can. Anybody else need anything? Well, you can charge at the back of these Marauders, and, ooh, yes, regrow you. Demigryphs, beautiful. Alright, we are still keeping reasonably good with the with regards to the damage taken. Simon, go chase down that enemy lord, please. Don't let him return to combat. And these guys are still fighting. Let's have the artillery and knock him out as well. You guys are still fighting, though probably not for much longer. Just gotta take out those Marauder champions. And yeah, probably could have been cycle charging. I honestly underestimated this army a little bit. I thought that they would probably just die with a single charge from our cab, which apparently has not happened. But it's okay, we'll deal. Let's heal you up a little bit more, and I probably should have been healing that Empire Captain, and looks like we're good. Alright, fantastic. We don't need to chase anybody up. I'm just going to wait until the Life Bloom is over, because it'll still apply at least a little bit of healing, and there we are. Nice. What, like 20 losses maybe, something along those lines? 13? Yeah, not too bad. Plague will still not be able to take us out at the current rate. Well, isn't that fantastic? Okie dokie, and we will also want to... I'm actually wondering whether we should leave the city or stay in the city. On the one hand, we don't want to implaganate the city, but really as long as Kurt himself doesn't get implaganated again, we should be okay. I guess just sitting there for a little bit. Alright, come on now. Nearly there. There you go. You did it. Alrighty, loading bar. Alright, occupy the place. Frozen landing. Enemy killed in battle. No student this time around. Well, isn't that unfortunate? And you can just sit in there for now. Alrighty, and then I guess we'll head back down to the Temple of Heimkel 2 again for the second time and give it to the Ice Court. Yetrich will be traded to the Ropsman clan, rather, and then we'll loop back around to Sioktraken. Alright, now, who wants to move up next? First of all, Boris Toddbringer. Time to bring the Todd somewhere north. So we'll pop you into an camp stance and move you like so. We will also move Dirk Sido to follow you along, whereas Wolfric Unberogen can start moving this way instead. We'll put him into Fort Stroghoff. We just gotta make sure that he stays out of... wait, you know what? Stay here. Rather than Stroghoff. Stay in Zoyshank because it is an ally, whereas these guys I don't think are direct allies, so we can heal up more this way. In fact, all of you can advance together. Well, actually, you could probably advance this way. Oh, we need to head towards Helpit after all. And then Materna Citizen, you're doing the same thing. We get a lot of forces up here, but, well, that's appropriate. Just gotta make sure we stay out of Fort Ostrosk. You want to go to March stance, maybe? What's the likelihood these guys attack you? Probably not likely with all these, allies nearby, so let's put you right here, at the very least near to Alberic Haupt Anderson. Champion Ludwig Schwarzhelm, you are also going to go up here. We still got a few more turns until we can get Treemen in your army, but that's, well, a lot of armies, or that we'll be able to work with you. So and you can make up for the lack of tree men shortly. Also probably want to trade some of this stuff around. Don't collect income, please. And just build it. Alright, the rest of this looks pretty good. Alright, happy with that. Let's see who else needs to move. We'll move Gelt last, as we're going to have a big old cinematic fight, and it's probably going to take a long time due to the prevalence of a massive amount of artillery there. So he'll want to, and he being Gelt, will want to bombard the enemy into submission. Gelt, yes, we'll move you last. Luther Graber, Aldebras Meyer, you guys are all good here. Wait, Luther Graber. Where are you again? I always forget who this guy is. Oh, you're this guy. Right. You're following, well, from Custerman around. You just need the rest of the flagellants in the army. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. That'll be just fine. Alright, who else is up next? Aldebras is good. Marcus, just wait. Just keep waiting. Mazdamundi will come for you eventually, my friend. We can also back off a little bit if we wanted to. We can also recruit more stuff with you. Alright, you know what? Let's move you here. And, ooh... Wait, if these guys land, maybe what we'll want to do instead then is put Bruno Graber into the High Sentinel, like so. We can put Bernard Hart right here, and honestly, I don't really care if they attack the Floating Pyramid. We'll put Marcus right here instead. 100% chance to ambush. It's a little bit far from Mazdamundi, but if he approaches, it might still be of benefit to us. At least this way, if Morathi or one of her armies lands at the High Sentinel, we'll be able to see her off from there at the same time. Tech Thief, or New Tech Thief, one of the new Tech Thieves, one of the many new Tech Thieves. You're gonna move up north, and I should probably take off your Warhorse, because you don't need it. Alright, and then you, Bernard, you can just continue building basic troops, and just piles and piles of pikes, and that we can send into the maws of the dinos, while Wolfheart's Huntsmen do that massive amount of damage. 85 missile strength on a Huntsman unit. Pretty darn solid, I would say. Even if they are super fragile. Anyway, that was Marcus. Let's see who else needs to move. Balthy, you'll move last, my friend. Kurt Lehman, you... Oh, no, you're just sitting in Albion. You're going to be sitting here a while yet, so don't bother doing anything as yet. Bernard is good. Apparently, I skipped you over. Gavin, yeah, just sit here for now. You know what you could do, maybe? Go for Ingmar of the Vargs. And is he going to move away? Yes, he is. Oh, wow. He's going to go far. We can't chase him, can we? I mean, we still have a decent amount of move left, but then if we land at Troll Fjord, we'll have to go into March stance. Yeah, well, I'd still like to kill this guy off, so... Alright, let's hope that we can actually reach the place, though, and that I haven't screwed the settlement over. Gleaming Pennant on... I don't care. You. Auto-resolve. And, sort of anti-heroes, not a bad pickup. And you know what, you can hold on to that for now, Gavin. In March stance, will you be able to reach Troll Fjord? No. Huh. Oh, that's weird. Look at that. March stance didn't increase your ability to get to Troll Fjord, which means... Wait, what? I guess he's at max movement, because March stance appears to be the same amount of movement as in camp. Bizarre. Well, I guess you're gonna encamp, you're gonna go here, and if Olaf manages to take out Troll Fjord, you can simply help it out. What we could do is we could summon temporary Archlector here, like this Monster Tracker one, not the tough one, because we might actually need the tough one. And we'll put him in the settlement, and we'll put him on, probably on foot, because he'll be less easy to kill that way. Although, no, keep him on the horse so that he can apply the Grand Soul Fire a little bit better. We'll get him Inspiring Presence, we'll get him Hold the Line. I don't see too much need for Brass Lunged. And Root Marcher is not going to be super useful here, but you know what, we could make him tank here. Let's go Hard to Hit, let's go, I guess, Scarred Vet, rather than Deadly Blade, because we're probably not going to be relying on, or you know what, we'll go 1 point in Scarred Vet and then 2 points in Deadly Blade, how about that? And if these guys attack, we'll have a nice little settlement battle where he will probably die, but then if they land, then Gavin will destroy them anyway, so it will make no difference. Alrighty, that's Gavin's time decided. Who's up next? We've got, let's see, Boris. Oh, damn. I wish it was an easier way to find these guys, where we were in the... Where the heck were you? 1 second, I'll find him. Don't you worry. Okay, he's right here. Jamafius Warner, Heinz Weber, you can stay where you are. Emil Clausen, Leopold van Blount. Ah, yes, Leopold. So, These guys might attack you. They're probably going to attack Blizzard Peak. We don't really care about any of these territories, but no, just keep you back. Fairy, you're together with Balthazar Gelt. You guys are still waiting for the Dark Elves to make a move rather than just sit there. Then we'll see if they do. Ulrich Stroam, you are waiting for Helmut Feuerbach to complete his army. Tech Thieves, time for you to move, and then as soon as we're done with the Tech Thieves, we're gonna move on up to Balthazar's fight. Alrighty, 2 Skeggy you go, 97%, I like it. Next Tech Thief is all the way down here, nice success, so you can you continue working on Vard Camp? 96%, yeah, you can continue working on Vard Camp, plus you can actually keep it in sight for us. Swell. Alright, well done to Tech Thieves. We've spent far too long in this campaign without Tech Thieves to help us out, so they're most certainly needed. What's your chance of success at Pachbox? 76%, not great. But you need to steal so that you can move. So let's steal now. And at least you succeeded. Beautiful. How many more Tech Thieves we got? There's another one out here. You can... Oh, you're gonna take some time to reach a place and actually steal any tech. Alright, well, away you go, bud. You'll get there eventually. That's what you're here for. And I believe that's it. Alright, fantastic. Now, what is our tech thievery or our tech rate at currently? We're at 579. Not horrible, but we're still probably going to need more tech thieves. We are going to fight and then we'll reacquire colonial factors into manorialism. Oh, no. We're going to reacquire improved cavalry armor because it's going to only take 1 turn and thus cannot be reduced any further. I guess the same thing is actually true of colonial factors, but nonetheless. Also, while we're at it, while we're here, do we need any of this? I mean, the miscast base chance reduction isn't horrible out of the Phoenix King thing, but I'm not sure that we want to actually waste our time with the turn that's going to take, and the rest is fine. I guess Purge the Fell could have been useful early in the game, but at that point we didn't want to spend the 10k. Anyway, time for Balthazar Gelt to get going. To Gelt going, I should say. Move to Crooked Fang Fort, my friend. Let's see what's in there. And how built up it is. Hopefully it is... Ooh, yes it is. It is very well nicely built up. We got Mutant Rat Ogres, and yeah, alright, Pyrrhic Victory at that. I love it. Alrighty. I did think that this was going to be a good fight, and it did once again seem like the last hard target of the rats, so we may as well enjoy it as such. Fairy, you're going to move out here. I don't actually care what you do, because I don't care about these forces and whether they live or not. We just want you to get to the Desolation of Nagash and uncover it. I'm hoping that we can tell the Ironbrow's expedition to occupy it, because we can't do it right now while the rats there are undiscovered. Also, what are you doing? You are trying to go for something. Yeah, all of you guys just start taking these territories rather than us having to do all your work for you. Let's level everybody up, and then we attack. Alright, so the additional orbs of sorcery are maxed out here, Gelty boy. We can get you Final Transmutation, we could get you Earthing and Magical Reserves. Mighty Forge would also be quite useful because of the steam tanks that are now in the army. You know what, let's get Earthing, and, well, no, we also use Final Transmutation quite a bit. Well, maybe not quite a bit, but somewhat. How's the levels? Ooh, we would like to reach max levels for the artillery, though, so for the Artillery Master. Damn, some decent choices either way, but now, you know what, we want to get Arcane Mastery, or Arcane Conduit, which gives us the little bit of extra spell mastery for Gelt, because it's just so useful to him. Fine, we'll go for Final Transmutation. X2, and then you guys can level up, or just you guy can level up. We have Spearmen, we have Artillery in here. Alright, which means... Spearmen are in Strength of Hardship, so we'll get you that, and we'll get you Stand Your Ground, we'll get you Artillery Master as well. You do have a couple of the crossbows, which we're probably just going to replace them with even more artillery later on, some more war wagons specifically, as this is still going to be Balthi's follower army, and we'll probably be holding all those Eldred's Guard for him as well. Anyway, time to attack. We are at close victory now, though the casualties have switched to low. We have so much artillery, and let's see how well it works for us here. Alrighty, well, here we go. Gelt has his new and improved army, still not quite complete, but he's got some good stuff. Double Luminarchs, he's got his steam tanks at last, as well as lots and lots of artillery, including Hellblaster volley guns. These steam tanks are firing away, and I'll be excited to put even more of these guys into this army, and several other armies as well, particularly the ranged armies that need anchoring points for their battle lines, and then obviously well, really any army that needs big boys, because we as the Empire do lack those. Man, that barrel is really moving up there. I can't tell, is that a wooden barrel or a metallic barrel? Either way, I feel like one Giselle shot to that, and the whole thing goes up, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, the battle will begin, and we're going to begin with a lot of bombardment. The Natty Bubo's sharpshooters were the main target from our artillery here, because, well, they had started to annoy one of our cannons. Fortunately, none of the cannons went down, so we're still looking good there, and can continue to do the damage. And this is just the beginning. I mean, the enemy has a lot, and I mean a lot of units in their settlement, and we have a lot of artillery. So we're going to be bombarding them absolutely into submission here. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or 20 seconds now, until our reinforcements arrive, and they're going to be helping out with all that sort of stuff as well. And they've got more artillery that they are going to bring in. Gelty, in the meantime, is going to be riding around, or flying around, I should say, annoying the enemy with casts, dropping hounds, and searing dooms upon any high enough concentration of enemies that he can spot. I wonder if vortexes have a higher chance of moving downhill than they do uphill. I never looked into that. It would be interesting if that was a case or not. No, I'm not entirely sure Magic really cares about the about elevation like that. Who knows? Maybe Path of Least Resistance is a sort of thing for it as well. Anyway, the bombardment is going to continue for quite a while. We're going to break through some of these walls with our cannons, while our Hellblasters and our Fire Rain Rocket, no, our Hellstorm Rocket batteries. Man, that thing is tough. I hate the addition of the Fire Rain Rockets just for that, because I can't help but always call the Hellblast or the Hellstorms Fire Rain Rockets. Speaking of Hellblasters, though, oh, look at that. That is a lot of smoke from these guys firing. These guys are very pleasant to watch in terms of their gunnery, aren't they? I do wish that the popping on them in terms of the textures was just a little bit further away. Warhammer is really screwy with that texture popping. It's always been the case. Anyway, while Gelt has been flying around, we can see that he's casting some stuff. Queeg Headtaker has taken a final transmutation on him and is going to continue taking damage. So Gelt can continue to cast that long before entering actual combat. The artillery will continue as well, and we don't even yet have our reinforcements on the field, with 2 more cannons and 3 more Hellblasters. It looks like a single use of the final transmutation takes not quite half HP from Queeg, but sort of close to that, and it's actually pretty good considering that he has 18 ward save in combination with 20% spell resistance. Against the regular Lord, without that much resistance, it probably would have done about half the damage. I still hear clinking from some kind of gold spell, but not entirely sure which one it is, though I suppose it's not important. Look at all that glorious artillery fire. We've also moved our steam tanks over here together with the other unit of Hellblasters. And just to continue, and maybe, I don't know, what do you guys think about battles like this? I mean, to be fair, Gelt's army is designed around being an artillery army, so it's always going to take settlements via bombardment rather than via, you know, moving into the settlement like Simon Moesher has with those awakened settlements. It's a different sort of fight. Very different, I should say. Personally, I do really enjoy the bombardment, but it would be nice to see a field battle with GELT'S as well, which I'm sure we will get as he moves towards Imric's territories, as I'm sure Imric will have a full stack there by the time we arrive. Anyway, looks like a second use of that final transmutation is going to pop on Queek, and will continue to do damage. Feel a little bit bad for the guy, but there's really nothing that he can do about any of this, is there? The Hellblasters and the cannons and the Hellstorms are all just going to continue firing away. And hey, this, if nothing else, this is sort of the Skaven getting a taste of their own medicine, isn't it? Oh, I love listening to those Hellblasters fire, though. And they're very nice. I believe in the book of the, I want to say the Siege of Middenheim, there was a moment where I think it was a bloodthirster, some big demon essentially got exploded with a single volley of from the Hellblasters, as in it was lured to break through the gate or to break through something. I don't remember if it was exactly a demon or something huge, maybe a giant, maybe a demon. And as soon as it got through the gate or the wall or whatever, that was where the Hellblasters were waiting, and then they fired right into it and just blew it apart. It's nice to see these things on the field, though they're not going to be nearly as useful in siege battles as they are in field battles, because they can fire on top of the walls, but they can't fire over them, like the Hellblasters can, but that's okay. They're still clearly doing work here. Anyway, the Hellblasters, or the Hellstorms rather, are also gonna do plenty even without help from any of the other artillery pieces if they didn't exist. Alrighty, and now our reinforcements are on the field as well. Our war wagons are here, and the great thing about having war wagons in your reinforcement army when you're a artillery army is that you can just pop that a resupply, that ammunition resupply, and then get all of your artillery topped up and continuing to fire. Looks like still a decent amount of enemy units are left in the enemy settlement, but as we can see, the balance of power has shifted very much into our favor, down to about half of the enemy troops and barely any losses on our side, and those losses, I'm pretty sure, are only from our summoned units at that. I'm gonna move our Luminarchs up as well. Alright, there they go, and Queek is in there, so we're gonna take a couple of shots at Queek to see if we can get him through the wall here. Through the breach in the wall, I mean. There we go, and that looks like a hit. Queek has basically one more shot from a Luminarch in him. In fact, he has seen that his doom is upon him and is in fact going to try to charge the Luminarchs rather than stay inside and wait to die, which is probably the smart move. Ooh, and another hit comes in, but not quite enough to kill him off. We're gonna pop that net of Amantog from one of the Luminarchs, and this is unfortunately where Queek will die. Granted, I would say that GELT really just killed him by dishing out so much damage to him via those two upgraded or overcast uses of his final transmutation. But at least somebody else gets the final blow. Anyway, we continue. GELT is now flying around destroying enemy towers on top of continuing to drop spells upon the enemy. And our artillery has somewhat begun to run out of ammunition, though only in the sense that, well, it hasn't been recovered via those war wagons yet. We're also going to move up some crossbows and some outriders to begin firing over those walls now that the targets have been sufficiently softened. We could probably have also broken apart a few of the walls there as well, but it doesn't seem even necessary in this particular case. Another final transmutation coming down on Mr. Morphage, the Warlord, and you know what? He doesn't have the spell or the ward save, so spell resistance rather, so I'm going to be curious to see how much damage he will have taken from that single use. Mortars are also coming down. Going to try to focus down some of the more threatening enemy units like those units of Warp Grinders, who are pretty much done for. Unit of Plague Monks also in very bad shape. Ouch. You gotta love Imperial Artillery. It may be a jack-of-all-trades factions, but their artillery is pretty tops in terms of you have a lot of decent options for various purposes. Alrighty, and let's see, Morphage. This, I believe, is the last tier of the final transmutation. It looks like we did about 3/4 of his HP. or maybe not 3/4, 2/3 of his HP. With the single use of Final Transmutation, he's actually going to be wavering, and just from that. Steam tanks have also moved in, and it looks like the enemy's going to send out some of its mutant rat ogres to fight. The steam tank's probably a good move, in fact, as it is a single entity, and the mutant rat ogres will have a much easier time dealing with it than piles of infantry would. A little bit of a steam expulsion from the steam tank there, and ooh, nice knockback. Damn, that thing went flying. It looked like it smashed into the wall behind it as well. Alright, it is coming back for more, and ooh, it's got a friend. Okay, well, if it has a friend, we're going to back off a little bit rather than allow the steam tank to take too much damage. GELT is going to come down, and we have more forces coming in as well, because we are flyers who have been waiting in the wings, as they tend to do, are going to go after and surround these guys. Though it looks like the first of the mutant rat ogres will actually die. We have our Luminarchs, who have come in to bring down the enemy. There we go. Even the Luminarchs get to play around this time. And GELT and his Pegasus Knights are going to surround the enemy hero, or the enemy single entity, rather. Not really a hero. Mutant Rat Ogre, though I suppose it is reasonably heroic for it to come out here into the waiting lances and guns of the Imperials, and it should be brought down quickly with all these specialists around it. Alright, and it looks like we're going to, in fact, just ignore it and allow the gunners to finish it, as it is shattered, and we don't have to be concerned. Heading into the breach now, we have our second lord, our follower lord, on his griffin to help out the Pegasus Knights, and there is a brood horror that is helping the enemies out, though I doubt that this is going to go super well for them. We have, let's see, now all 30 of our units, all 29 now, on our Pegasus Knights, so they're not doing too bad, though they are a relatively fragile unit. And I do eventually want to replace them with Royal Pegasus Knights as well, for the anti-large that they provide, as this is generally what I'm using these guys for anyway, and the regular Pegasus Knights are anti-infantry. Steam tanks moving in to help out as well, and we also have our Luminarchs and our gunners firing away. And by gunners, I mean the ones in the war wagons. And it looks like these units of rat ogres are broken and terrified, probably of the steam tank. And it's looking pretty good. A second final transmutation comes down on the enemy lord, and as we saw, the first use took 2/3 of his HP, so he won't survive. A second, well done, GELT, being able to kill off lords like this without ever having to land. Sending in our summoned units, a single unit of summoned halberdiers, just to distract the enemy and allow our grenadiers and our crossbows to dish out damage. Visktrin's Death Squad, getting focused down, probably the biggest remaining threat on the field, other than, I think, another brood horror. And they took quite a few hits to that. In fact, they're just going to back off rather than continuing to chase like they plan to do, trying to head up this hill to where they perhaps might see some safety, but there's a tank up here. Alrighty, well, good luck to you, Death Squad. Ooh, nice air on those rats right there. Some steam expulsion and some searing doom and mortar fire are gonna come in. This poor squad. They had a very bad day. Alrighty. Man, I really love this army. The tanks, the grenades, the artillery pieces. It's all gloriously World War I. Especially these kind of tanks, like non-modern tanks, like the World War I prototype tanks. And there was some crazy nonsense tank designs back in the day, which are some really fun things to read about. Anyway, Brood Horror is still on the field, but it looks like the balance of power is about 90% in our favor. Oh, there's another Mutant Rat Ogre as well, but we've basically cleared the place out. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of an issue. An enemy Plague Monk, or actually two enemy Plague Monks, got stuck in the wall here, and we can't fire at them, which is a shame, because that means that the enemy faction, or the enemy army, or the enemy in general, will not be chain routing Or rather, they will chain route, but the battle won't end until that Plague Monk unit, being unbreakable, is destroyed, which means we'll have to actually manually capture the final location. Alright, and another unit of Clan Rats. No Skaven Slaves running around. I really should have sent those guys into combat, but it's okay. Searing Doom on top of them takes out about half their numbers, and here come those Pegasus Knights, trying to get some air as well, as in air on the rats. Not air on themselves, which they're plenty capable of. And away go those Skaven Slaves. Single charge and single spell, though frankly the spell was probably not that necessary either, just to speed the matter up a little bit. 90% balance of power in our favor now, and I do imagine that the rest of the enemy army will rout soon. We are also moving in our grenadiers rather, and our artillery continue to fire because of the bonus ammo that we're able to provide them. Ah, look at that. Poison Wind Mortars. I believe these guys were actually reinforcements that moved onto the field from back here, and they're just taking forever to try to move in and help out, and it doesn't matter because they will not get to, as the chain route is finally here. Obviously, once again, there are a couple of invincible units, or not invincible, unbreakable, I should say. Well, actually, this unit is invincible, not unbreakable, and unfortunately, Gelt just ran out of mana, so he won't be able to cast a be able to cast a spell. Well, I guess it would only be Final Transmutation that would be able to take that out, but oh well. Not a big deal, fortunately, since this is a main settlement, not a minor settlement. The fact that the enemy is stuck, it doesn't matter, because we can just simply capture this and the battle will be ours. Heck of a long battle, though, about 17 minutes, maybe 16 minutes until it ended, though to be fair, a bombardment does take a little bit of time to work through. Gotta love this battery, though. And yeah, once again, I feel like maybe we want to put a few more war wagons into the follower army just to be able to speed up and follow. Granted, I still want all the Eldred's Guard in that army as well, so we can't completely clear it out of infantry and stuff. But otherwise, we're good. Alrighty, anyway, how are we doing with regards to capture? Nearly there. Too bad that flying units can't capture these places. And yeah, I know it would be way too abusable if they could, because you could just ignore everything and then land and then capture points. But on the other hand, it would be neat if there was a sort of like flying dragoons unit, as in a mounted unit that you would be able to land, essentially. That wouldn't be able to fly again. Like, they would get off their mounts like a transport sort of deal. But then again, once again, it would probably be very abusable with regards to taking main settlement key structures and everything along those lines. Anyway, one key structure left. The victory tickets are counting down. I feel like they should have made it so that the victory tickets would count down faster depending on how many supply locations you held. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's just straight up 5 based on holding the main settlement. Let's see if it changes once we capture the last of the building. I don't think it will, though. No, it's still 5. Yeah, I don't capture enemy settlements in this manner often enough to know about the victory tickets, but there we go. Close victory, apparently. We lost a lot of mana and ammunition, but in terms of troops, really not a close victory at all. Alrighty, well, there we go. Not too bad. A little bit annoying towards the end there with that invincible unit that prolonged the battle by being stuck on the walls. But at the end of the day, we still managed to pull it off because of the ability to capture all those capture points. Now, I imagined when going into this battle that this would be more of a GELT'S gun show, as in his artillery pieces and the steam tanks, but it was really more of a GELT'S gun show in... Okay, I'm too lazy to like Photoshop a picture of Gelt's face over a bodybuilder, but yeah, just imagine I did that here. But it was really Gelt that took it home here, doing 94k damage and 879 kills. For me personally, Gelt still holds the all-time record of the most individual units killed, you know, organically in a campaign battle, which was, I can't remember, it was over 2,000. I don't remember the exact number anymore, but it was in my old Balthazar Gelt campaign. campaign, and by himself, basically, to that. Obviously, you could do a lot more if you do, like, a custom battle, but I think for an organic battle, it was pretty darn good. There was also a good showcase for Final Transmutation, as Final Transmutation killed Queek, basically, or at least dropped him to about 10% HP, and then fully killed the second enemy lord. I don't remember which one of them it was, but it doesn't matter. So, well done to GELT'S. It was definitely your gun show. Anyway, we're going to occupy the place temporarily, mind you, because we're going to trade it to our allies, because we don't care about it. And we also have enough territory to be getting on with. And there we go, trait gained. Oh, right, and we got the Vermin Flail trait. Yeah, this is definitely a farm-worthy trait, but probably not specifically for Empire, whose armies are reasonably cheap. Although GELT'S in particular is... now it's still reasonably cheap. Yeah. I guess one nice thing for the Empire is that you really don't have to worry about their upkeep that much, because of the state troops' ridiculously cheap expenses. As long as you're able to do a lot of work with just state troops and the cheap stuff, you can achieve a lot with the Empire. Anyway, with that, we are most definitely out of time. That battle took quite the while, so I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we will probably end the turn after doing some treasury stuff, and then that'll be time for the, well, I guess it's gonna be advancement everywhere. I'm not going to go over it, though hopefully, let's see, we got 3 settlements on the Warhost of the Apocalypse, so we can at least take out the Writhing Fortress in the plains of Zenbaijin, further weakening them and leaving them with only, hopefully, a final fight against Archaon up north somewhere. Probably lots of other battles I'm not thinking of, but, well, I guess we'll find out next time, so stay tuned for more Empire. Do not forget to leave a like and comment, especially if you are enjoying this campaign and want to see it continue to be updated on the regular. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.